Hey, what's up guys, Jay here for another tutorial, and this time I'm going to be showing you how to use Twixtor. And I know there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube already, but you know what, I just don't give a darn. So what I'm going to be doing in this tutorial is I'm actually going to be showing you two different ways to do this. One will just be with After Effects, and the second one will be Sony Vegas and After Effects. So I'll be doing just the After Effects first, so just in case you don't have Sony Vegas, you don't have to sit through a tutorial and then wait for the second one. So I'll get right to it. First off, you're going to want to import your clip. Now make sure that your clip has 59.94 frames per second or 60, doesn't really matter. And some 29 frames per second actually look okay, but it's not the greatest. So if you're recording with an HD PVR or a Blackmagic Intensity, then they always cap 60 frames per second. And if you render it right, then it's always going to have this. So yep, there you go. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of maintenance to make my clip look okay. And alright, looks good. Okay. So what you're going to want to do first is click right here, and that enables your frame blending. Now go up to Layer, Frame Blending, and then Pixel Motion. And that just blends the frames together, obviously, to make it look a little bit better. And while you're at it, go down to Time, and enable time remapping. And this will be used later on in the tutorial. Now what you want to do is right click anywhere in here, or even go up to Layer and then New, Adjustment Layer, or right click down here, New, Adjustment Layer. And what this does is it allows you to do anything on this layer, and it'll show up on your original video layer. And this is pretty good just in case you don't want to mess up your original, or you make mistakes or anything like that. And this is actually what I use all the time. So what you want to do is go to Effect, go down to your Twixtor, add that, and then on your input frame rate, change it to what your clip is. So mine's 59.94, so I'll change it to that. Now what you're going to want to do is go into your timeline. I don't know why that's happening, that's really weird. Go into your timeline and find the part of your clip that you want to slow down. So that looks pretty good to me. Now you're going to want to drop down in your adjustment layer, Effects, and then Twixtor, and then Output Control. Now you're going to want to add a keyframe on where you're at, where you want to slow down. And this is just how I do it. So I go back one frame, add a keyframe, and then I go back to my original one that I was at, and then I change the speed to 1%. Now this is the slowest you can get. A lot of people go to 10%, a lot of people go to 5%, but it's a preference, so I go to 1. So now you can see that it's really super slow, and I'll wait till about 1 second. I'll add another keyframe, go ahead one more, add another, and then change this one back to 100%. There, so now let's check this out. Perfect. Now I'm just going to add a color correction just to make it look a little bit cooler. And it does not look cooler at all, so I'm just going to delete it. Okay then. Alright, so that's actually pretty much that. And what you're going to want to use if you have a longer clip is we enabled time remapping earlier. So at the end it may get cut off a little bit. Like right here. Looks like it's about to get cut off, so go to composition settings, and then change your duration to like 18 seconds. That's what I usually change mine to. I'd add a 1 if it's like that. Then bring that forward a little bit, go up, bring that out a little bit. You can shrink this back down because you don't need that. Okay, that means that's the end, so there's not really much I can do about that. Or you can just go back here, trim that, just so you guys can see what I did. So now to go to composition, add to render queue, click on lossless, format H.264, audio yes, change this to blah, doesn't matter, and render it. Alright, now that's done, let's take a look at it. Alright guys, so that was the first way. Now I'm going to show you the second way with Sony Vegas. So we're going to go to Sony Vegas, go to your File, Properties, and make sure your template says that your clip is 59.94 frames per second. And if you have the newer one, then you can just go down to HD 720 at 60p. Just click apply, make sure it's best. I always make sure it's best, and then add in your clip. Alright, perfect. Now I always make sure the clip is just a little bit pretty. Right click on your video clip, properties, and then disable resample. That is very important. Make sure your clip doesn't look really bad. Now, go to where you want to slow down. I think right here will be okay. Click S for split. That just cuts your clip right there. Now go zoom in a little bit and then use your keys to go forward maybe 3 or 4. I'm gonna go 4, and then click S for split again. Now you just double click right here on your highlighted clip, file, render as, and I'll show you what I use to render out my clips for things like this. Alright, so what I do is variable bitrate, make sure it's 2 pass to make sure it gets all the pixels where it needs to be. My average is 135 million bytes per second, and so is my maximum, just to make sure it's the highest quality I can get. So I'll change this to 1v1, and then render this out. Shouldn't take that long. Alright, so we don't need that anymore. Now just delete all this stuff and import my new one, which is 1v1. Add that in, and as you can see, it's only like 4 frames long. That's not right. There we go. That's all it is. And I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did in the other one. So enable frame blending. Make sure your layer is clicked. Pixel motion. Enable time remapping. And then I'm going to add in an adjustment layer. Perfect. Alright, make that a little bit longer. Then add Twixtor. Oops, my bad. Alright, change it to 59.94 again. And then this time you don't need to do any keyframing. All you have to do is go to speed and then change it to whatever speed you want it to be. Alright, so there's that. You're going to want to go to your composition settings and make it just a tiny bit longer. Make mine 10 seconds just in case. Stretch it out a little bit. Alright, now I gotta find out where it ends. Just right before this blue thingy right there. I'll keep going. This is a pretty long clip, if I must say so myself. You can usually tell when it's ending because there's a green part. I don't really know what that is, but whatever. Alright, perfect. Now, bring this yellow bar right here. Bring it right there. Right click right here in this work area. Trim comp to work area. And then there's your clip. Perfect. Now, once again, go to composition. Add to render queue. Change it from lossless AVI to H.264. Change the audio output. Change the clip to BLA2 and render that out. Alright, so now that that's done, let's take a look at that clip too. Alright guys, so thanks for watching my tutorials. Hope you learned something and or made a sweet clip. If you edit something on Call of Duty or whatever, you know, send me a link, leave a video response or whatever, because I like saying that stuff. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.